No, my one of the guys I do my pirate camping thing with he's pushing 70 now. He's one of my favorite dudes in the world though. Old guys are awesome.
They're
Old people
so awesome.
Except when they drive.
Yeah.
Really, that's the one factor.
Yes.
Not when they promote anti-Semitism and racism and homophobia.
I
and
mean that too, but I have to drive through Oakwood twice a day going to work. That only means anything to anyone who lives in Dayton, but like
my old man in my life is a full-fledged Democrat, and he was upset about the election, so I don't have to deal with that part of it.
It's true. It's true. Welcome to the show, Ali Augusta,
Thank you.
a comedian friend of ours here in Dayton. Who we've known for
about a year and a half.
Yeah,
closer to 2 years, I suppose.
About as long as you've been doing comedy.
Yeah, about as long as I've been doing comedy.
Thinking what, April or May of 2023?
March of 2023.
I know Matt started in...
Is when I would have met you guys, but May of 2023 is when I started doing comedy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Ali is also coincidentally butt buddies
Fucking
with
Matt Zane.
with Matthew Zane.
Yes.
How non-delicate can we possibly fucking put it? But a comedian in her own right, and has been just an absolute delight.
Thanks.
To have
Thank you so
Dayton.
much. Thanks for having me tonight.
Sky rockets in flight. Ooh, afternoon delight.
Oh, afternoon delight. No rehearsal, none whatsoever.
If I had a
Proud of
nickel
us.
for every time a person sung me that song today, I would actually have 2 nickels for you guys and then 1 more nickel for the man at work because I sold him an afternoon delight 10th today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is weird that it happened twice in one day with 3 different people.
For the record, internet, Ali works at a dispensary here in the state of Ohio where it is fully legal to do so. She's not selling it on the corner.
Also, afternoon delight was not code word for like a hand job or something.
No, it was quite literally the name of a strain. God damn it, YouTube. Fuck.
Sorry. You can edit that part out.
Don't leave it at the fuck in. Are you kidding me? The things we've said that I've left in. Oof.
Well, yeah, you did that whole episode with Matt, so.
It's true. Yeah, we left in a lot.
Yeah, you did.
I think we've only ever had one person, and I won't say who, ever ask if something could be edited off the show.
I don't remember.
I mean, other than like back when I used to give a shit if they dropped the name where I work. Now I don't care anymore. But yeah, PBS. So how did you get into comedy, Allie?
I got into comedy because Matt was doing comedy.
Of course.
I know. I was going to all of the, excuse you. I was going to all of the shows and open mics with him, and I had always been interested in being a performer of some sort. I was in musicals and plays growing up. I was in drama club in high school, so I wasn't like shy to the stage necessarily. But there just came a point where I was like, I either need to start writing my own jokes or I need to stop investing all my time just going to these shows. Like, I'm not really getting anything from it. So I was really scared to do it. And then I got super baked and went to the Taylor Swift concert. And I said, if Taylor Swift can get up there in front of 85,000 people in her hometown, then I can get up in front of 12 drunk people at a bar in Dayton, Ohio. And then that next Tuesday, I went to Carmichael's open mic and I went on stage for the first time.
Those things are definitely equitable.
Yeah. I thought so.
But you know what? I appreciate the dotted line. I do. I appreciate. I know. I do. I really do. I appreciate the idea of like, yeah, it's 12 people I don't know who are too drunk to remember this.
Yeah.
Who will forget about. Yeah.
a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Also, it demonstrates this philosophy that I've had recently where every comic we've had that we've asked how they got into comedy, they say because I watched somebody else do it and decided I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%. Every single person we've talked to.
Yeah.
That's been, and
It's never been like I was at home one day and I was like, I'm going to research comedy open mics in the area. It just was like happenstance that they found themselves at an open mic where people were performing comedy and they saw, hey, some of these people suck at this. I could do better than that.
yeah, which is exactly what Allie thought. She saw and said, you know what, Taylor, yeah, you've got 85,000 people and this is the best you can do. I'm going to go rock the hell out of 12 drunk assholes and make it feel 10 times bigger than this economy changing musical event.
Also, part of it was
I'm paraphrasing.
in my baked, like being very high at the concert. I also was like, if I want to meet Taylor someday, this is what I have to do. Okay, because her best friend is Jack Antonoff and his best friend is Mike Birbiglia. And I just saw Mike on Friday, so
That's true.
Hey, I'm starting to see
do you see the 6 degrees of separation that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Now,
I could maybe meet Taylor Swift someday just because I'm doing comedy.
you're not wrong.
I rarely am.
Name the last time you were wrong.
the fact that she's got to think about it is pretty impressive.
I mean, yeah. Or are you the kind of person who can admit when they're wrong easily, or do you struggle with that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I love admitting when I'm wrong.
When's the last time you admitted you were wrong?
Probably Matt and I got into a fight over the weekend and there was miscommunication and I had to go to him and say, hey, I'm sorry. I miscommunicated. I was wrong. I shouldn't have spoken that way. It's humbling, but you have to do it in order to be a good human. You have to be able to admit when you're wrong.
And it feels good afterwards.
It does. Yeah.
Good for you.
Especially because, like, if you're admitting it to somebody that, like, really genuinely cares about you, they'll be able to look at you and be like, I can forgive you because I know that you're human and I, know who you are and, like, what your intentions are.
It's way too easy to guard your own feelings and defend yourself to the death or whatever. There is something about when you get that confirmation from the other person that they admit they did something wrong to you.
Yeah.
To whatever degree that it's just like it's like a vindication almost.
It's validating for sure.
Yeah, validating.
And it opens the floor for like that to be mutual in the future. Like
it does.
If he makes a mistake and afterwards is able to admit, hey, I fucked up.
Even if it's after like a breakup, I think if people are able to come back and say like hey, we're not getting back together, but like I'm sorry for the part I played in whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a way to make it to where at least now I'm not going to go on hating you for the rest of my life.
So that happened earlier this year. I had a really big friend breakup of like a friend I've been friends with for over a decade. Her and I are no longer friends, but afterwards, even though she was mainly wrong, not to be like, oh, I was right in the situation, I definitely overreacted and like did not speak kindly to her in my overreaction. And so after the fact, even though I had no intention of rekindling our friendship, I texted her and I said, hey, I'm really sorry for, like, just like you said, the part that I played in like the downfall of this. Like, I did not handle it correctly. That was wrong of me.
Yeah.
So
you would do great in an AA meeting. That's what they're all about, man. Making amends, brother.
Dog, I went to my first AA meeting when I was 6.
Picking up on these spiritual principles for a very long time.
I was raised in AA.
You can help us grow our channel, upgrade our gear, and eventually hire an editor by joining our Patreon for only $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/the3mics or follow the link in the description. And you go into that on stage a little bit. So that was a bit of a weird, not weird, but
it's for sure unusual.
unusual upbringing. Well, I mean, it's not really that unusual when you think about the way that 50+% of marriages end in divorce nowadays. So I mean, it's honestly not that out of the ordinary anymore.
This is actually before my parents were ever married, and they never got divorced. My dad just fucked off and died when I was 12. Yeah. It's okay. I
like how you just fucked off and died.
You just fucked off and died.
I'm still just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to think, you guys were raised on like this side of the country where it does seem very odd in like the upbringing of like the Midwest or the South. I know you grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in Northern California. This was like very common in the small town that I was in.
Like everybody was alcoholics?
Everybody was alcoholics, drug addicts. Like I was raised in a church that made their money off of the recovering addicts in our town. Like they ran this whole program and like that really is just looking back now as an adult, like that is truly how they made their bank. Like they fed off of that. Yeah. And I remember I like very vividly remember going to AA meetings with my biological dad when I was a kid. And they literally were in an old vacuum shop. That's why I joke about it. 'Cause it's like such a niche thing. But like, I always remember going to places where kids shouldn't have been when I was a kid. Like I always hung out with my parents and just like bars and like
brothels,
trap houses.
Trap house. That's not nothing. That's not nothing.
Like the Northern California version of a trap house. Like we would look at it as kids being like, oh, we're just going like with our uncle for the day. But like, it was not just my uncle's friend's house. Like they were selling drugs.
Oh yeah.
They were selling drugs. I also like not all my uncles, but the two that I grew up with specifically, one was taking me to like the trap houses and one was taking me to Disney on Ice and telling kids, telling people that I was his child and he was my single father so that he could pick women up. Like,
hell yeah.
Wow.
Wait, so it wasn't the drug dealer that used you for dates? It was the good one that took you to Disney on Ice?
Yeah, he was a respiratory therapist, and he would literally take me to Disney on Ice, and he would be like, you can get one toy and a snack, but you have to go along with everything that I say.
And were they brothers?
Yeah, they're my mom's brothers.
He's a respiratory therapist. Did he help him to overcome the damage his lungs took from smoking meth? Also, there's a joke there. Disney on Ice. Meth is called ice. Like
there is a joke.
These are two versions of the same uncle.
I don't know if it was just meth or like pills, but
they're actually
for joke purposes, just say meth.
Yeah.
There honestly is like a whole world of.
There's a lot of jokes coming up this next season of me. New hair, new glasses,
coming
new era
up
of
next
jokes.
season on Ali. Also, delves into her drug addiction origins.
Just the phrase you said earlier of the Northern California version of a trap house.
Well, yeah, because it's like, it wasn't violent. Like, I grew up in a very, like, loving, wonderful childhood. But, like, I look back on it now and I go, oh, that's, like, really fucked up. Like, I should not have been, like, being exposed to, like, some of the things that I was, like, exposed to. Yeah. Even though I was also simultaneously being raised in the church. Like, I was in church, like, 4 to 5 nights a week. But I'm telling you, I learned more about sex in church than I did at a public school. Like,
that's
kind of messed up.
Churches be trifling.
Yeah.
That's layered.
Yeah, like in our church, like that church was just crazy. Like I said, it was like making all of its money off of like this program that they ran and like taking advantage of people. We had a skate park for some reason, literally attached to our church, a cafe.
What do you mean for some reason? I'm sorry. The Lord respects the pipe. All right.
The Lord. We had a zip line.
The half pipe.
We had like a zip line.
Hey, you can respect both in this town, man. I'm just saying.
It was crazy. And we also were going to like so many churches. Like that was our main church. And then we had another church that we were in that we would go to on Sunday mornings. We would go to the other church on Saturday nights. I was also in youth group. I was also in the choir at one church.
Double dipping on churches, man.
Literally, it was crazy. And we went to like the one big mega church and like that had like the skate park, and then 25 minutes away in like tiny hick town across the bridge, we went to this like old one schoolroom style church. So we were like double dipping in opposites too.
When I was living down south, the apartment next to mine had these 4 hippie yuppie kids that worked at the mega church up the road, and just all hours of the night, the worship music, the douchebags on the acoustic, the prayer circles, and I'm laying there just like with the Bluetooth speaker, just like I'm just gonna turn Cannibal Corpse against the wall and just.
I mean, I still listen to worship music. It's still a part of me a little bit, but I don't know if I'm definitely not what I was like intended to, like what my parents raised me to be when I was a child. Yeah.
I listen to worship music. It's the one album from Anthrax that I'm really into.
That's fair.
That was just for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think there's a very clear reason, and I saw this the other day in a TikTok video. There's a very identifiable reason why so many kids are leaving the church nowadays. And it's not because they don't want to be like Jesus. It's that they do want to be like Jesus, and they're realizing, even if it's subconsciously, that what is going on in the church is not at all congruent with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's very valid.
I think that's super valid. I think a big part of it for me was like my family always struggled growing up. Like my mom was a single mom for a really long time. My dad was really in and out of the picture as a child. And like I watched our pastors, like, you know, go on multiple vacations a year.
Yeah.
And we were like in church doing what we were told we were supposed to be doing, but like we were broke. Yeah. And growing up, I just like, I recognized that, and I recognized that like churches have kind of become this like money making conglomerate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially. And I don't like that. Like, that's not what.
And that's a tragedy, because they'll play it off like, oh, this is because I've been doing this for so long, and I've been following in Christ's footsteps for so long, that I can buy this private jet and go on vacation 4 times a year. And that's instilled in people's brains that like, no, that's not it at all. You did that because you're literally passing around a basket that people are putting money into and telling them 10%. You got to give 10% of your income to this church. Like,
odds are all that they could spare. I mean, when I was growing up, I was in Catholic school for a little bit, and I mean, I was a child of a single mother.
Yeah.
They used to hit at my mom all the time about, well, you get this kind of, tuition assistance and all that. We'd really like you to also be contributing this much more. And she was like, I'm a single mom of a child. And they're like, well, but you make this much. He's like, yeah. And do you know what I'm paying in rent and groceries and like to feed a growing boy? Like, yeah. So it's all just shame. Yeah. It's all sham is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
a sham.
It's a sham.
I'm so much more at peace with the way that I interpret God today as I ever was when I was a kid, when it was being forced to me.
Agreed.
It makes more sense to me now.
I agree.
And I feel like my life is miles better than it was when I, was on my knees praying every day, going to church every Sunday. Like,
there certainly was like a weight that came off of me when I stopped forcing myself to think I had to go to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
Like that stress and that worry, that like dread that started happening that I don't have anymore. It's great.
Follow the Dayton comedy scene on social media at Gem City Comedy, or learn more at www.gemcitycomedy.com.
You're the first woman not blood related to Mike to be down in this basement in ever?
Actually.
Yeah, I think ever.
In ever?
I mean, short of like...
She's not that short.
I'm pretty fucking short.
I mean, other than just like the occasional like visitor from like people coming over for like a party or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Well, thank you for welcoming me.
But also,
Rosie's very good company too.
Rosie ain't bad. Except for today, cute. Where she clawed the fuck out of my arm, but didn't appreciate it.
I still have a little scar from Archie from when me and Matt came over a few weeks ago.
That was fun. Yeah. He got her good.
He clawed my finger. Like, why? I was just sitting on the ground. He came up to me. He started rubbing on me, and then he just goes, Kch. And like he got me like right in my knuckle though, so it just started like. And
he has got murder daggers on his like, and he doesn't know how to use them because he's an orange cat, so he doesn't get a turn with the brain cell.
He's a cutie.
He is, but so he doesn't know how to like use them right, and so he's a cutie though. But he'll kill you without meaning to.
That's okay.
Thank God he doesn't have like.
If that's the way I go, that's the way I go.
There's worse ways to go. How did she die? A cat accidentally scratched her jugular.
Alley cat got taken out by the cat. I guess curiosity really did kill her.
It's the last episode of this show.
We've peaked.
Aww.
We've peaked.
Because you finally had a lady come on.
That's exactly. Yeah.
Mike's never had a lady come.
That is not true. That I will. Oh no, I'm gonna die on that hill.
I'm sure that's not true. I've listened to his set. I know he eats pussy.
Goddamn right I do.
You can't say I eat pussy if you haven't done it in 10 years.
Fair. I'm not even gonna argue with that one. I got nothing. My brain blue screened. I've got absolutely nothing.
You ever just glitch in real life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. More often than
all the time, actually.
Constantly. That's that, being 36 and realizing, hey, Mom, remember when everybody said that this kid might need to be medicated and you were like, nah, he's fine. Yeah. And now we're realizing like, fuck, missed that boat.
So somebody was right.
Yeah. At work the other day, I handed somebody the counterfeit marker.
You want a turn? You want to hit it?
After I marked all their bills, I said, all right, have a good day. I hadn't like cashed them out or anything. We just looked at each other for a second. She handed me the marker back. We didn't exchange any words about it.
And that was the day they implemented a very strict no more hitting your vape on work hours.
I plead the fifth.
That's funny.
I love those just embarrassing moments where both parties are like, we'll pretend this never happened.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to the movies or get your DoorDash and they're like, enjoy, and you're like, you too.
Yeah.
And you just walk away.
You have to welcome them into your home to share the meal.
Right. It's all right. Well, I guess we're splitting this now.
Yeah.
Or he turns out they're a vampire. Fuck. Now they get to come in here and.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair's fair, I guess.
Fair is fair.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
That's why I don't be inviting anybody into my house. It's actually just a safety measure.
So last week when we had Johnny Woods on, one of the big things we talked about was the importance of like goals. And so as somebody who's newer into comedy, I'm curious what some of your comedy goals are, long-term, short-term, whatever.
I think short term for right now is I'm still trying to find what I want my style of comedy to be. Because unlike a lot of comics who get into this and they like have a favorite comedian and they know exactly what they want to sound like, I had no idea. Like, I was just like, I want to start doing this. I think I should start doing this, but I wasn't like watching stand-up specials. I wasn't watching hours. I didn't have a favorite comedian. If you ask me who my favorite comic is, I say Joey Gladstone, which is Dave Coulier
from Full House.
Full House, yeah.
Nice.
So
solid pick. He was funny.
He was hilarious. But like that's the kind of stuff I grew up watching, and so like I grew up like with like dad comedy, with like dad jokes and just like funny friends, and like wasn't really exposed to a lot of comedy. Except for maybe some Dave Chappelle bits that like my brother would walk around. Like my brother would walk around saying, I'm Rick James, bitch, all the time. I had no idea what it was, but it was like a common.
That one and not the, Clarence Bigham's.
No, it was just that. But like, I didn't know what it was. I didn't necessarily know the influence that Dave Chappelle was, but I knew who he was. Yeah. I just didn't know like the gravity behind him. And so... yeah, I'm just trying to like find my voice short term. And then long term, I would love to be, I don't even know if I want to say I want to be like a full-time touring stand-up comedian, but I want to be like some sort of like influencer and comedian, like in the public space like that, where I'm able to like freelance and write and just create and like be on my own schedule.
I think those are, and I'm not I don't say this like in a judgmental way. I say this in a respectful way. I like that you have what I would consider to be good, like attainable, realistic, modest goals.
I mean, I joke all the time that people are going to see me on SNL someday.
Sure.
Like, I joke and like, I don't want to say, I flirt with my customers at work. I work a tip-based job. And so like, I talk to the people coming in, and like, if I vibe with them, I talk to them about comedy, and I go, you'll see me on SNL someday. Like, for sure, that would be a dream.
Yeah.
But I also realize that I'm 27, about to be 28, and I'm just getting into this. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm late in the game.
Yeah.
But it's also,
Like,
I also think that nowadays the idea of being, quote, late in the game means nothing, because there's not a timeline or
I guess that's
roadmap you have to necessarily follow
Not
anymore.
these days.
especially with like the influx of social media, which that's also a huge short-term goal of mine, is just to have a social media presence as a comic, because I suck at it.
It's huge. Because it just opens so many different like income streams that make it much more attainable and possible to live off of what we do.
Yeah.
Well, and I always like to quote this, but Jesse Nutt said,
he's my favorite.
He's everyone's favorite. Is the internet leveled the playing field.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to LA to get discovered anymore. You don't have to get. It helps.
For sure, that exposure helps.
That's where like the work and the but like you don't have to go there to get noticed anymore.
Yeah.
We not to keep name dropping, but a Dayton comic can go to a random podcast in Texas and get pulled up for a bucket spot and just crush it.
Yeah.
They could also easily go up there and eat the saltiest of dicks on that stage too.
Yeah.
It's shit just kind of happens.
Yeah.
And the internet has done that. So
the internet definitely helps. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say. So I
We'll
don't
talk
think
forever if you don't cut them off.
Yes, I will. The idea of being late to the game is
Yeah, it helps like kind of alleviate that like always having to be in the right place at the right time, because you can record your right time and post it for somebody else's right time, right place, like for them to see you. Like, you don't always have to be there live in the moment to be discovered anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to be, because there's so many different ways that you can get noticed and make money off of performance in one way or another. If you want to be a consistently touring, headlining comedian who does all the funny bones and small theaters around the country every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to fucking go to open mics for 5-6 years minimum, get really good at writing jokes, build a network of people that will book you at their comedy clubs and their theaters, and that takes time.
Yeah.
If performing the stand-up comedy is what you want to be your career forever, that's going to take a shitload of time. Seguro was doing it for 15 years before he got recognized on a big scale. Jeselnik was doing it for a decade. All those guys. But yeah, a creator can just get millions of followers. The guys from the Basement Yard podcast, Frankie and I forget the other one's name. Those dudes fucking rule. They're two of the funniest guys I've ever known in my life. And it just took the last 2 years of them being noticed on TikTok, and they're probably, I would wager to say, set for life if they're if they're good with their money.
And they follow us. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Yeah.
Really?
They followed us from when we were the Basement Lounge, because then they followed us over
That's
from
super
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Super neat. Hi guys.
Yeah. So hey guys,
Follow me.
Doubt they're
Ali
watching this,
Augusta.
but
they check out our stuff, man.
That's super cool. Yeah, being a creator sounds just so like cool. Like, I always was taught that you had to have this like very traditional, like nuclear style life and job. And just growing up in this era that we're all like, that we've all grown up in. I mean, I know there's like a little bit of an age difference between us, but growing up in this period that we have grown up in, I have realized the older I've gotten, you don't have to have that like nuclear, like 9 to 5 white picket fence. Like that's just not what it is anymore. And so it's really interesting that I could potentially make like a career and a career out of just what I want my lifestyle to be. Like that people would care enough about me as a person to like follow along on like my journey. Cause I have some pretty interesting stories. So
no shit.
Yeah.
You can help us grow our channel, upgrade our gear, and eventually hire an editor by joining our Patreon for only $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/the3mics or follow the link in the description.
You guys hear about the gay penguins?
What?
What?
Okay, so a couple years ago, might have just been a year or so ago, there was this group of penguins, just two of them, a whole group, but then two of them that were gay together. Like they were two male penguins who just loved each other's company, couldn't get enough of each other, always hung out, were madly in love with each other. And recently, I think a few months ago, one of them died. And the other one like went into like a full-blown like human-like grief state where he just like he wasn't eating, he wasn't socializing. And penguins, when they go through grief, there's this thing they do where they just sing. They just sing really, really loudly. And so all the other penguins in his like colony, I guess, in solidarity would just like sing with him. And then they had to show the surviving penguin the dead one's body, because that penguin, he like wasn't accepting. He was looking everywhere for this penguin. So they had to show this dude like his guy's body. And then after that, it was just like full-blown choruses of penguins singing in solidarity with each other. And I'm just like, being gay is not a choice, man. He's suffering. He's suffering.
Oh,
I think I remember something about...
that's so sad.
It is. I'm not going to lie. I was holding my mouth because I was waiting for you to turn it into a fucking joke. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie.
I really thought there at the end, I was like,
is he about
fucking
to...
fag?
Yeah,
Am
I was
right?
like, is this just made up and he's going to turn it around on us?
No, I remember there being a story or something about where like these two male penguins, like their mates didn't make it back from like the food run, and like they like paired up to keep each other warm or something during the cold, and like just kind of mated for life. And so I wonder if that was the same.
Dude, once they find penguins, when they find somebody, like
they mate for life.
over with, like
I
they're
wonder
done.
if
Even if
they
it's guys and guys.
mourned their original partners that hard.
Well, I mean, penguins are really, I mean, they are familial. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I don't know that either of them. I mean, I didn't mention it. I don't know if either of those penguins had a
Like an
partner
original
before.
partner. Okay.
we could be talking about two different. We could be talking
Okay.
about two different sets of gay penguins. But
I'm sure there's lots of them.
bi-curious penguins.
who
There's got to
knows?
be a few of them out there.
But I mean, look, Brokeback Mountain. They were just trying to stay warm.
Never seen it.
Good movie.
Never seen it.
They were just trying to stay warm.
Inside each other, like crawling inside a tauntaun.
Crawling?
I mean, it's warm.
Whoa!
It's warm there, so
We've had you for a little over an hour, so I won't keep you too much longer, Ali. But I do want to say that this is the part of the show where we like to say very nice things about everybody, which is that it's
We do that?
yeah, we do.
that's so nice.
It's just you. It's
Oh
nice.
yeah, it started with Matt. We just all started to jerk each other off.
Yeah, I figured
Damn.
Metaphorically, like that.
Damn.
we like pointing out, because I think as comedians it's fun to roast each other and talk shit, but I also think
Very fun.
Yeah.
we like hearing nice things about ourselves once in a while.
Facts.
And you have been a very just bright ray of sunshine
Thank you.
in truly a what can oftentimes, because it's a lot of dudes,
yeah.
be kind of gloomy and bleak at times. And you're a very
almost
positive person.
exclusively dudes.
Almost exclusively. Yes.
I really appreciate that. But I really appreciate you guys saying that. It is really almost exclusively dudes sometimes. Me and the ladies definitely struggle. There are
If it's
lots
not you
of,
or Layla.
Yeah. There are lots of mics where
You said
I
the
am
ladies, but it's like
only
the lady.
Me or
What other-
Layla or
where else?
Lexi and Augie sometimes.
Maybe
Sometimes.
Karen, if she's the headliner, you know.
I have been doing comedy for as long as I've been doing comedy, and have never been in the same room as Karen doing comedy.
Oh, really?
Really?
We have never.
I mean,
wow.
she's not like an open mic.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
I've
if
seen
she's
her.
headlining,
I saw her
yeah.
at Campfire, and that's only because her and Matt were on the same campfire, so I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, unless she's headlining, you're not going to see her. That's just where she's at. So,
Yeah.
same
Very
with-
nice woman.
Yeah, same
but-
with Lori. Lori.
Yeah, I've only met Lori once.
Yeah,
at World Record,
Yeah.
and she saw me fall asleep on the floor in the corner. It was really embarrassing, actually.
Nice.
Honestly, it was the end of an 80+ hour comedy festival.
was.
Falling asleep on the floor.
And
You were fine.
honestly, that was the first time that I felt like a lot of the comics were like nice to me. Like I felt very taken care of.
Well, that was the first opportunity I think the Dayton comedy scene had in a while
Yeah.
to really be communal.
It just felt nice. I fell asleep on the floor and I woke up to Deontay Allen giving me a sleeping bag to use as a pillow, and Dick Dickerson literally covering me up with blankets because he thought I was cold. It was the sweetest thing. Like, it was just very nice.
Two of the nicest dudes fucking
They
around
are.
ever. Yeah.
They are. Yeah, it was so nice. Like, I was literally like tucked underneath two tables and people kept stepping on me.
Horrible.
People literally kept stepping on me because I was blending in with the floor.
I know.
And so they came over and they were like, well, if we give her this sleeping bag to use as a pillow, she won't blend in as much. And like, we'll put blankets on her. Like they were really thinking it out to protect me. It was very sweet.
I said we should
Shout
have
out
just,
to them.
We should have just laid you up on the skee ball table. But
Honestly, I would have loved that. I love skee ball. God damn, I love skee ball.
Wait, that was when you guys were up in the like arcade room?
Yeah.
Word.
It was pretty cute. I don't say that I'm cute a lot, but I was really like a little cat just curled up on the floor. I was so fucking tired.
Dude, so in the showroom, like in the very back where the comics hang out during the Friday mic, like, you know that little like nook, like that little like hole in the wall
Yeah.
where the fireplace once was? Brent Bowser slept in that motherfucker.
Oh,
Free
yeah.
out.
So cute.
it was.
He does fit perfect in it. So,
He's a tiny little man.
yeah. He's a cool dude.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for
Yeah.
hanging out with us.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
It's been a great couple of years getting to know you.
Thank
and having
you.
you be around.
I appreciate that. It's been wonderful getting to know you guys, not just on like a comedy level, but you guys are both two of my like closest, best comedy friends. And I really appreciate y'all, and just best friends in life. Like, I really genuinely appreciate you guys and care about you.
The feeling's mutual.
F
Thanks.
is for friends who do
stuff
stuff together. U is for you and me.
N is for no survivors.
Down here